We babysat every weekend, paid for groceries, and fixed their water heater. One morning, I came over and found my key didn't work. My daughter-in-law opened the door and said, "You're not needed anymore." My son looked away. I walked home crying. 2 weeks later, I came back with, "I'm Helen. I'm 63. I live in Lansing, Michigan. I've always thought I did everything right when it came to being a mother. I raised my son, Matt, and daughter, June, mostly on my own. Their dad left when they were in middle school. I worked part-time as a nurse and picked up extra shifts when I could. We didn't have a lot, but they never went without. Matt was my quiet kid. He didn't talk much growing up, but he had a soft heart. The kind of kid who made his sister a birthday card by hand even when he was 13. The kind of kid who cried during nature documentaries. I thought I raised him to be kind. I didn't realize I raised him to be walked on. He met Callie in college. She was loud, confident, always had something to say. At first, I was glad. I figured she'd bring him out of his shell. But the longer I watched her, the more I started to see how things worked between them. She talked, and Matt followed. She made the decisions. She took charge of everything. It wasn't a partnership. It was more like she hired him to be her assistant. They got married 2 years after college. I kept my thoughts to myself. My daughter warned me, too. She never trusted Callie. Said she had a fake voice she used when people were around and a different one when it was just family. Then came the baby. They were struggling financially. Callie was working from home, doing something in marketing. Matt had just started a job fixing HVAC units. No benefits yet. They were exhausted all the time. So I offered to help. That's what mothers do. At first, it was weekends. I'd come over, watch the baby so they could sleep or run errands. Then it was evenings. Then mornings. Then basically any time they needed me. I brought groceries when their fridge was empty. I cleaned their kitchen while the baby napped. One time, the heat went out in the middle of winter. Matt didn't know what to do, so I paid for a plumber and got the water heater fixed. $1,200. No questions asked. I never complained. I didn't expect anything in return. I loved that little baby more than anything. I thought I was part of the family. But I was wrong. It was a Saturday morning. 7:45. I remember the exact time. I had a key. They gave it to me when the baby was born. Callie said I could come in any time. I brought a bag of diapers and a dozen muffins I baked the night before. I was even wearing my best grandma ever sweatshirt. God, I wish I'd burned it. I walked up to the door and put my key in. It didn't work. At first, I thought I had the wrong key. I tried again. Nothing. I stood there, confused, holding the muffins in one hand and the diapers in the other. I knocked. Callie opened the door. She didn't look surprised. Didn't look annoyed. She looked like she planned it. She had this little smirk, like she was waiting for me to show up and be shocked. And then she said it. "You're not needed anymore." Just like that. I stood there like an idiot. What? She leaned on the doorframe, crossed her arms. "We've made some changes. We're going with daycare now. We need space. Boundaries." I was stunned. I looked past her. Matt was sitting on the couch, holding the baby. He saw me. He looked at me. And then he looked away. Didn't stand up. Didn't say a word. "Callie," I said, my voice shaking, "I don't understand. Did I do something wrong?" "We appreciate your help," she said. "But this is our family. We need to make our own decisions now. This isn't your home. You can't just show up." My stomach dropped. I looked at Matt again. "Matt?" He finally spoke. Quiet. Like he was afraid of her. She's right, Mom. We've talked about it. It's better this way. He couldn't even look at me when he said it. I felt like I was falling. I put the diapers down on the porch. I handed her the bag of muffins. Then I turned and walked away. I cried the whole way home. I don't even remember walking through my front door. I sat on the couch and sobbed. Deep, ugly sobs. Like something had died. Because something had. I didn't leave my house for 3 days. I ignored calls from my daughter. I stopped answering the door. I felt humiliated. Used. Broken. But by day 4, something inside me shifted. I started thinking. I started remembering. All the money. All the hours. All the effort. The little comments Callie made over the years, hinting that I was too involved. The way she'd roll her eyes when I'd make suggestions. The way Matt got quieter and quieter around me when she was in the room. They didn't just want me gone. They planned it. They waited until I was no longer useful. They thought I'd go quietly. But they didn't know me as well as they thought. 2 weeks later, I came back. Not with muffins. Not with diapers. But with a folder. Inside it was every receipt. Every grocery run. The plumber invoice. Every Venmo transfer. Every babysitting text. Every screenshot of Callie asking me to drop everything to help. I knocked on their door. Callie opened it. Her smile faded when she saw me. Matt was behind her. I'm not here to fight, I said. I handed her the folder. She looked confused. What is this? An invoice, I said. For everything. Every dollar. Every hour. Matt looked pale. Mom, that's not fair. What wasn't fair, I said, was how you threw me away like garbage. I turned around and walked away. That was just the beginning. I didn't expect them to pay. I knew handing over that folder wouldn't magically fix what they broke. It wasn't about the money. It was about making them look at what they'd done. Making them realize I wasn't just some doormat they could walk over when they were stressed and dump when things got easier. But what happened next told me everything I needed to know. 3 days later, Matt showed up at my door. Alone. He looked tired. Shoulders hunched. I didn't say a word. I just opened the door and walked back into the living room. He followed me like a child. He sat on the edge of the couch, elbows on his knees, and rubbed his hands together like he was trying to warm them up. I'm sorry, he said. I didn't answer. I know what we did hurt you. Still nothing from me. He looked up, finally meeting my eyes. Callie was upset. She said you were overstepping. She thought we needed more control. She decided she wanted me gone, I interrupted, my voice cold. And you let her. He looked down. You gave me a key, I said. You asked me to help. Then one day, I show up like I always do, and I'm treated like a stranger. That wasn't a miscommunication. That was a plan. Matt didn't deny it. I didn't agree with how she did it, he said quietly. But you didn't stop her. He just sat there. I watched him for a long time. And then I said, you owe me. He looked up again. I know. I'll talk to her. No, I said. You both owe me. Not just for the money. For the time. The disrespect. The way you made me feel disposable. He opened his mouth like he wanted to argue, but nothing came out. Don't come back, I said, standing up. Not until you fix it. He left. I thought maybe that would be the end of it. But then my daughter, June, called. She was furious. Mom, did you really send them an invoice? Yes, I said. Good. She showed up that evening with a bottle of wine and a folder of her own. "I've been quiet too long," she said, handing it to me. Inside were emails, text messages, screenshots. Things Callie had said over the years behind my back. To friends. To her family. "She's always hated you," June said. "She just pretended for Matt's sake. Look at this one," she sent it to her sister. I read it. "I swear, if Helen lets herself in one more time like this is her damn house, I'm going to scream. I get it, she means well, but she's too much. Always around, always hovering. I need my space." Another one, "We just need to phase her out. Slowly. Maybe start locking the door. Make it clear we've moved on." They'd planned it. 4 months. June sat next to me while I cried again. But this time, it wasn't sadness. It was rage. "I've got an idea," June said. "You helped them survive the last year. What if you stop helping altogether and see how fast their lives fall apart?" That was the moment the plan really began. Step 1, I stopped picking up their calls. Matt tried a few more times. Texted. Called. Even emailed once. I ignored all of it. Step 2. I cut off all help. No more babysitting. No more groceries. No more help with bills or repairs. Step 3, I started talking. To everyone. Matt's boss. Knew me. Went to church with me. I told him everything. "Oh," he said, looking stunned. "Matt said they had some family support, that's how they got through last winter." "That was you?" "Every penny," I said. Step 4, I let Callie's little curated image fall apart. She was always bragging online. Always painting herself like the perfect mom and wife. I didn't post anything directly. I just started sharing truths under my own name. Quietly. Calmly. No drama. Just facts. I spent $1,200 on a water heater for my son and daughter-in-law. They thanked me by locking me out without a word. I babysat every weekend. Every single one. When they didn't need me anymore, they changed the locks without warning. I didn't name names. But people figured it out. Their neighbors. Church members. Friends. The silence started closing in on them. Then came the twist I didn't expect. I got a call from Callie's mother. She lives in Oregon. Never met me. But she was calling to apologize. "I had no idea," she said. "Callie told me you were smothering them. That you were being controlling." I laughed. Controlling? I wiped their kids' nose every day for a year. That's not control. That's love. Well, she never told us about the money. Or the heater. Or the groceries. Then she hesitated. "She's falling apart." I stayed quiet. "They can't afford daycare," she said. "Matt's hours got cut. Callie's losing clients. She told me Matt's been sleeping on the couch." I didn't say a word. And then she said the one thing that nearly made me cry, "Whatever happens next, I want you to know, I'm on your side." 2 weeks after the call from Callie's mother, things started unraveling faster than I expected. It was my neighbor, Angie, who told me first. She works part-time at the local daycare on the west side, the one with the long wait list and high tuition. The one Callie used to brag about on Facebook, saying, "We finally got a spot for baby Ellie, it's worth every penny." She pulled the baby out, Angie said one afternoon when I was watering my flowers. Tuition bounced. Twice. They're 3 months behind on payments. I didn't say anything. I just kept watering my petunias. Later that night, I checked Callie's Facebook. Gone. Her profile was deactivated. Her Instagram too. All those filtered posts. Her color-coordinated family photos. Her little quotes about boundaries and growing as a woman. Poof. Gone. The truth had caught up. The next week, Matt showed up at my door again. But this time, he didn't come alone. He had the baby. No Callie. I stood there, staring at my granddaughter's little round face. She was clinging to a stuffed bunny I'd bought her for her first Christmas. She doesn't remember me, I said quietly. Matt looked like hell. Unshaven. Pale. He looked like someone who hadn't slept right in weeks. Can we come in? He asked. I hesitated, then stepped aside. He sat on the couch, rocking the baby on his lap. She squirmed and fussed, and he didn't know how to calm her down. I watched, silent. Eventually, I got up, went to the kitchen, warmed up a bottle, yes, I still kept formula, just in case, and handed it to him. She drank it right away. He looked at me like I'd just performed magic. I can't do this without you, he said. Where's Callie? She left. Took her laptop and a suitcase. Said she needed a break to figure things out. I raised an eyebrow. Left you with the baby? She said I've been emotionally distant. He actually air quoted it, like he was quoting a therapist. You have been distant, I said. From me. From your own family. He looked away. She didn't think I'd last 2 days without her. But the truth is, she's the one who couldn't handle life when everything stopped being about her. I didn't reply. Then he said the words I wasn't ready for. She said she's not coming back. For the next 3 days, I helped him. Not because I forgave him. Not yet. But because the baby didn't ask for any of this. And because no matter what, Matt is still my son. I stayed at his house during the day. Cooked. Cleaned. Took care of Ellie. Matt went back to work. He came home exhausted, grateful. Quiet. On day 4, I noticed Callie's laptop was logged into her Gmail. The browser was still open. I shouldn't have looked. But I did. And I saw everything. She hadn't just left. She had moved in with someone else. A guy named Travis. There were emails. Messages. Google Calendar events labeled Weekend in Traverse City, Love. She'd been planning her exit for months. The part that broke me? One of the emails said this: I just need to wait until Matt's mom fully backs off. Once that happens, I can leave without guilt. I printed every email. Every calendar. Every attachment. Dozens of pages. Put them in a second folder. Took it home with me. That night, Matt came over with the baby. We had dinner. He thanked me. Said he was sorry again. Promised he'd never let Callie treat me like that again. Then I handed him the folder. What's this? Your wife's weekend plans, I said. He opened it. Started reading. 5 minutes later, his face went blank. Then red. Then pale. He sat there, silent. Like something had broken inside him. I let him read every page. I didn't interrupt. I didn't comfort him. When he was done, he closed the folder and whispered, "She played all of us. She used me," I said, standing. "She used you. And she used that baby." He nodded slowly. Then, for the first time in his life, Matt said something I never thought I'd hear from him. "I want to destroy her." After Matt read those emails, something changed in him. I could see it. The quiet son I raised, the one who used to avoid conflict, who let people walk all over him, he was gone. Now, there was something in his eyes. Hard. Focused. We didn't speak for a full minute after he said it. I want to destroy her. I didn't stop him. The next morning, Matt called off work. He dropped the baby off at my house and said, "Give me the day." I didn't ask what he was going to do. I just said, I'll keep her as long as you need. He came back around 9 that night. His face looked hollow, but his shoulders were straighter than I'd seen them in years. What happened? I asked. I talked to a lawyer, he said. Turns out, Callie had made a mistake when she packed her things and disappeared. She left the baby behind without a custody plan. No warning. No legal arrangement. That was abandonment. And Michigan courts don't look kindly on that. He showed the lawyer the folder I printed, the emails, the calendar invites, the messages with Travis. The lawyer nearly laughed. She handed us everything we need, he told Matt. You want full custody? You'll get it. That was just the start. Over the next few weeks, Matt did everything the lawyer told him to. He documented everything. He moved the baby into his name on all forms, doctor, daycare, insurance. He changed the locks. He stopped answering her texts. Then, right before court filings began, Callie came back. Like nothing had happened. Walked in through the side gate, knocked on the door with a fake little smile like it hadn't been over a month. Matt opened the door. Calm. Cold. She said, we should talk. He said, we will. In front of a judge. She froze. Excuse me? Then he handed her a copy of the custody petition. She lost it. Started yelling. Accused me of turning him against her. Said I'd been poisoning him for years. Said this was emotional abuse. Matt didn't flinch. I read every word you wrote to Travis, he said. I know what you planned. Her face dropped. You thought I was too weak to fight back, he said. You were right, for a while. Then he closed the door. She stood outside for 10 minutes, screaming. Neighbors came out. Someone filmed it. She finally left. That video made it to Facebook. And then to Reddit. In court, she tried to play the victim. Claimed she left because of mental health and overbearing in-laws. She painted herself like she had been pushed out. But the judge had the emails. The video. The daycare debt. The abandonment. She didn't get custody. She didn't even get visitation for the first 90 days. Matt got everything. Full custody. Child support. And her rights reduced to supervised visits, pending evaluation. When the judge read the ruling, Callie burst into tears. Not the quiet kind. The loud, gasping, ugly kind. Matt didn't react. He picked up his daughter, turned to me, and said, let's go home. That would have been enough for me. But karma wasn't done. A few weeks later, I got a text from June. You see Callie's ex, Travis? Check his Facebook. I looked. He was engaged. To someone else. Turned out, Travis didn't think Callie was fun anymore once she showed up with no apartment, no job, and legal drama over a baby that wasn't his. He dumped her. Fast. She lost her marriage. Her daughter. Her backup boyfriend. And then she lost her job. Her agency dropped her once her little side scandal started making the rounds online. It wasn't just the video, it was her attitude. Her complaints about clients. Her private messages trashing coworkers that someone leaked anonymously. One by one, everything she thought she controlled slipped through her fingers. She moved back to Oregon. Last I heard, she's living with her sister, looking for work, seeing the baby a few hours a week under supervision. As for Matt, he changed. He started therapy. He got promoted. He's working on himself. Slowly. Quietly. But it's real. We don't talk about Callie anymore. We talk about Ellie. We take her to the zoo. We make cookies together. I see her every week. She's safe. Happy. Growing. Sometimes, when she's napping on the couch, I look at her and think about that morning, when I stood outside their house holding muffins, confused and heartbroken. And I think about how far we've come. I never wanted revenge like this. But I can't lie, watching the truth burn its way through that woman's life, piece by piece. That was justice. And justice felt a hell of a lot like peace.